Hey guys, it's me Alex from Grow, Cook, Eat, Repeat. Today in this episode we're going to look at radish pods, and one of our favorite ways to eat them here is pickled radish pods. So come along and explore how we make them and how they can be a nutritious, delicious part of our daily lives. All right, here we are in the garden, getting some radish pods for today's radish pod pickles. As you can see, all of our daikon radishes that we planted this year, purple and white, have went to seed. Therefore, they put all their energy into flowering and into creating the seeds for next year's growth. Some of these are a little bit bigger than what we like to eat. They just become a little bit more woody and the texture is not as good. So we like to find ones that are a little bit smaller and a little bit medium size. I usually just try them in the field, and if they taste good, then I pick that size on that plant, and if not, then I move on and leave them be. What's a radish pod, number one, you may be asking yourself. Well, I planted a bunch of daikon radishes this year, and with the early heat that we had here in Ohio, we had a hot early spring, and that heat caused the radishes to bolt, therefore going to seed. And so at that point, radishes will no longer, or any root crop, once it bolts, will no longer produce a root. It just immediately begins to put all of its energy and effort into flowering and turning into seeds. And so one of the benefits of radishes when they do bolt is that they produce these wonderful, delicious, crispy radish pods. They have a nice little crunchy texture, have a little bit of sweetness to them, and they also have a little bit of a spicy kick to them, which makes them taste pretty good. We cut them up and put them in salads. We eat them fresh, throw them in stir fries, saute them up with a little bit of salt and some oil, use as a side dish. They're pretty versatile, pretty good. So they're worth allowing your radishes to continue to grow once they do bolt, instead of ripping them out and planting something else. So today what we're going to do with them is pickle them like a simple cucumber pickle. We're going to use a 3.5% brine of salt to water ratio, where we have a scale. You just weigh your water out of how much you'll use, and then you multiply 3.5% times the amount of water you have in grams, and then you measure out that amount of salt, and then you just mix it in until the salt dissolves, and then we'll use that to submerge our radish pods and the other ingredients we're going to put in, which today we're going to put in some holy basil, which we grow here, also a little bit of oregano and a little bit of rosemary, which I would have liked to have added some dill, but none of our dill really grew this year. I tried a place to grow it and it didn't work out. We're new to the property, still kind of figuring out where to put things. And then another thing that we are going to add is an oak leaf. Why an oak leaf, you might ask? Well, if you're familiar with fermenting and making your own pickles at home, you know that you usually will use like a bay leaf or grape leaves to add tannins in and to keep your cucumbers crispy. Well, we don't have any grapes yet, and we don't have any bay leaves on hand, so we're going to use an oak leaf. Oak leaves also contain the proper amount of tannins to keep whatever is submerged in the liquid crispy. Another thing you could use is green tea bag if you have that on hand. So today we are going to do this. Usually I like to wait anywhere from 3 to 5 days once we submerge it. And then I've also got a nice ball jar, wide mouth jar to put everything in. And then I also have a airlock. This one is from Year of Plenty. I just purchased it off of Amazon a couple years ago, and I use that to make all of our sauerkraut, pickles, and all of our lacto fermentation that we do here. Okay, so we're going to take the radish pods here first, and I'm just going to kind of pack them in a little bit, layer them in. We're adding these, and then I'm going to rip up a little bit of our oregano. Just crush it up a little bit. That fermentation process will release some of the flavors for us. Not going to throw all of it in just yet. Got that. I'm going to rip our oak leaf in half and put some of it in there for now. And then I'm going to rip some of our our Thai basil leaves off. Throw those in. Then I'm going to add some more radish pods. Trying to pack it down in there pretty good because we've got a lot of radish pods to use. Then I'm going to rip up some of our thyme here. Just kind of crush it a little bit, rip it in half. And then the rest of our oregano. Some more Thai basil. The rest of our oak leaf. And then some more radish pods. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to add all of them here, so I'll keep some back for some salads and to eat fresh for the next couple days. So once I get them up here, I'm going to add the rest of our Thai basil here, and then a few more radish pods to keep everything submerged and nice and tight under the water. So I'm going to leave myself with just a couple inches below the line. That way it has a little bit of breathing room and not all of the liquid comes out of the airlock over the next couple days while it's fermenting. So then I'm just going to pour in our liquid. Submerge everything. Here it's good to use a weight, which I don't have one on hand, so what I'm going to do is just keep an eye on it over the next couple days, and maybe twice a day. Just give it a nice swish and keep any sort of yeast or bad mold off of the top. All right, well, thanks for joining us today. We'll check back on it in about 3 to 5 days. And in the meantime, check out some of our other videos on Grow, Cook, Eat, Repeat.